Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beneath the Surface, an A&G Concrete Pools podcast. As always, I'm your host, Luke Hannon, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by David French, President of Christmas for Kids, Laurie Boyer, Treasurer of Christmas for Kids, and Travis Leonard, Vice President of Christmas for Kids and President and owner of A&G Concrete Pools. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Awesome.
Doing great. Glad to be here.
It's exciting to have you here. This is sort of our December special, and obviously you guys and your event is so tied to that month and that time of year, so I'm excited to get in all that you do. I know it's such an amazing role that you guys play within the community in that holiday season. But I want to begin, David, you first. How did we get to this point? What is your story? How did Christmas for Kids come to be, and where did it all start for you?
So back in probably 2003, 2004, I wanted to teach my kids about giving back. So they had a lot of toys that they didn't play with. And for the fire district, I worked in a lower income area, so I knew there was a need there. So I talked to my kids. I said, hey, do you want to go give some toys to the kids that don't have any toys? Well, of course, in their mind, they thought every kid had toys. So they said, yeah. So we bagged up a couple of bags of used toys in 2 garbage bags, and we basically took them over in the lower income neighborhood and literally got out of the truck and just poured them out on the sidewalk. And the kids just come running. And they were taking stuff that normally my kids didn't play with anymore, or we would have thrown out. And so it made an impact on them in the sense that the following year, they said, Dad, are we going to bring toys back to those kids? And I said, wow, that was the message I was trying to get through. And I said, yeah, do you guys want to do that? And they said, yeah. So we did that again. And then the word kind of spread to the other firefighters that I work with at my station. And I told them the story, and they said, hey, we want to do that too. Can we go with you? And I said, sure. So the next year, I think we had maybe 5 families of firefighters and their kids that did the same thing. And then it just kind of spread from there with local businesses and volunteers and people wanting to get involved. And really the main reason was to bring their kids and teach them about giving back.
Laurie, what about yourself? How did you get involved with the organization?
So when it was hosted at the fire station, and my husband and I, same sort of thing. We enjoy teaching our kids lessons and ensuring that they're giving back to the community in which they reside. And so we went to Station 4 and just started getting our wrap on. We were part of a wrapping party, and I saw our kids. They were little, and they were getting the toys and wrapping them up and sorting them and helping out, and just really enjoyed it. And then from there, we said, oh, we've always done like Thanksgiving events to support the community. And so we said, well, let's find out more about this for Christmas Day. And then we went out for the first time on Christmas Day. And when you see the joy on not only the kids' faces, but the parents' faces, and the relief that they feel when they see Christmas coming for their kids, we were sold. So we've just been doing it ever since.
Mr. Leonard?
Similar. Gina's my beautiful wife's best friend. Dawn, her sister-in-law, worked with David at the fire district, and Dawn had gone out there one year early on and said, "Why don't you come next year?" And my little one, I think, or my oldest one at the time, Samantha, I want to say was 4, so we're going back 13 years ago. I remember showing up and didn't know what to expect, but much like Laurie said, is once you see the impact that you're going to have in a very small space and within a small community to kids that truly need it, I think sometimes we become insulated and isolated in the worlds that we live in. And once I was able to go ahead and see how my daughter was affected by looking at the other kids, and we talked about how David's kids were affected, it's hard not to be part of the organization, and it's hard not to want look forward to doing that every Christmas. Yeah, you wake up at Christmas morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and you used to open up gifts. Now we look forward to going to Christmas morning on the fire station, look forward to handing out toys for 8 to 10 hours now, I think is what we're doing. It's an amazing organization.
Well, let's talk about that growth, because I think to your point, we have a sense, particularly in sort of the modern age with all the social media and all those things, you get really kind of caught up in your own bubble, and be able to go out and kind of break through that and see what the rest of your community, it's not even sort of global or national, but people that are a 10-minute drive away from you, and what that world is like and how different it can be. How has it been growing the organization from that initial moment with your kids and teaching them that lesson, the importance of giving back, to where I believe you guys handed out about 5,000 gifts last
Yeah.
year. I mean, that is a massive expansion over the time that you guys have been
Yeah.
doing it. So how does that come along? Because that obviously just doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, so it just, I always tease and I always say we're kind of like a rolling circus. We evolve every year. We really do truly evolve every year. We never know how much stuff we're going to have. And, you know, in the past, I used to worry like, oh, we're not going to have enough. We need more. And Travis would always reassure me, we'll be good. We're going to be fine. We'll have plenty. And we always do. We always have an abundance. But we went from 2 garbage bags of toys, basically, and the word just spread. Through social media, through other firefighters, through business owners, and they wanted to get involved. And how can we help? Let's donate. You know, we all know people in the community that, you know, wanted to get involved. And for a while, we just brought toys, and we really individually wrap each item. So it takes a lot of time. We do that through December, a couple of days a week, and we seen there was a need for clothes. And the parents would come up and say, hey, do you have any clothes? And so then we started incorporating clothes about 5 years ago, I think. And the last couple of years, we've incorporated new socks and underwear for the kids because we knew there's a need there. And my daughter she's a nurse practitioner and works in an office. And she goes, you know, Dad, a lot of these kids come in and their socks and underwear are dirty all the time. Can we do something? And I said, yeah, let's see what we can do about that. And so we bought socks and underwear last year. We're going to do the same thing this year. And literally, we went from like maybe a truck and a small trailer, and now we have 2 big lift gate trucks, probably 3 or 4 trailers, one with clothes, one with bikes. It's just, I don't even know what else we carry, but the toys, clothes, bikes, it's just expanded. It grows every year. And never my wildest dreams that I think that it would get to this point. I didn't have that vision. My vision was, at the beginning, was to just teach my kids about giving back. I didn't know that we would do it the following year, but when they came to me and said, Dad, can we do this again? I said, yeah, let's go do it. So we grow every year through donations, through volunteers, through businesses locally that want to give back to the community. And what's great is we bring Christmas to the kids in their neighborhood. We go to them. We have Santa. We have the Grinch. Sometimes we have people that dress up as elves. We make stockings for the kids. So it's truly a Christmas for them. And just the thought that, you know, for them to think that, hey, someone's thinking about us. So they know every year we're coming. They start calling ahead of time a little bit. And we've had to, we give vouchers to the park managers so they can verify that all the people live there. Because in the beginning where we were having people come in, maybe, you know, that shouldn't have been there. But we try to take care of all their needs, and it works out well now. We've kind of got a system down the way we do things, and we just keep moving forward with it.
Laurie, David's point is so good there. It's not just the gifts, but it's actually the holiday season, kind of the cultural impact of having a day where you do feel like something special is happening and it's kind of beyond the ordinary. How exciting is it to be able to bring that to communities that without organizations like you just don't get to feel that?
Honestly, it's only doable because of the amazing volunteers. So everyone who comes out and does the wrapping parties, and then the committee members who go out on Christmas Day. I think it's the best part to the holiday season for me, to be honest with you. We've incorporated things like bubble blowing when the kids are standing in line waiting for their picture to be taken with Santa, or even just the littlest Santa Claus sticker, you know, that they get just to entertain them while they're waiting. Knowing and through the years we've had everything. It's Florida, right? So it'll be 90 degrees one year, and then it'll be 30 degrees one year when we're on Christmas Day. And just you know, seeing the kids and their families come out, and the need for jackets or blankets or socks. It just puts it into perspective. Yes, we're giving them toys, but we're actually making such a impact on their core memories for life, you know. And to see, even we've been going to these places for so long, I've seen these little kids that waited in line with their parent that are, you know, now teens. And it's just it's really heartwarming to see those families, you know, through the years, and the kids grow, and just the appreciation that they have for you taking time out of your day. That's oftentimes what I know we hear from people when we're at the parks is, I can't believe you guys are giving up your time today on your holiday. And it's like, we're more than happy to be here, you know, because we know that it's for the better good.
When you look at something like that where, and again, it's so striking to me because I think people get caught up on kind of the physical, tangible element of it all and say, like, how great is it that a child has a gift now? But when people are coming to you and it's not even about the gift, but it's about the time, it's about what it's doing for their family, it's about the moments that they wouldn't be able to have otherwise. Are there stories that stick out to you of someone who maybe was the child and is now a teen who talks to you guys and like, I remember when you were here when I was 5 and now I'm 15 and the way that that's changed my life and my trajectory? Because I'm sure they're out there.
So I can share definitely an experience recently that happened that's top of mind. We do a off-season fundraising event, a bingo event, and we were at a location, and there was a server there serving us the whole night. And at the end of the night, she came over and she said, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, I thought that was you, but I said, but I wasn't sure, and she said, "You guys have made my kids' Christmas just wonderful year after year. The last couple years, we fell on hard times, and I can't even express how grateful I am to you for this." And I said, "That's why we're here. We're happy to help in any way that we can." And she was like, "Can I give you a big hug?" And I was like, "Absolutely," and I remember her daughter. She was just cute as a button and just the biggest smile on her face. And it was cold that year, and she was cold. And David actually came up and put this nice big warm blanket on her. So like that was just sealed in my heart. And then to see her in her work environment and then being so grateful for the opportunity to supplement, her Christmas day and make it purposeful for her kids when she's just trying to, make it every day. Nothing's getting cheaper out there. So it's nice that we can, do that and help out in those ways. So that one hit my heart pretty hard, to be
I
honest.
could imagine. It's an amazing story. Travis, when you look at an organization like this, obviously there's an element when you have, and it starts from Toys from Your Own Home, when it grows to the scale that it's grown, local business partners, that philanthropic side really does develop out. And as a business owner who is so heavily involved in our community and the conversations I've had with Tom Jones, the Education Foundation, Will Armstead, the Boys and Girls Club, there are so many areas in which you're involved. I know this is one of your favorites, and every time when it comes around the holiday season, your world kind of starts to revolve around
Yes.
Christmas for kids.
Yes,
So
it does.
what has it been like from a business side to come to this organization and allow it to sort of elevate even beyond where it was?
One of the things for us and for me personally is we are blessed to be able to write checks to a lot of different organizations. We are blessed to be able to do a lot for those that are less fortunate. This, for me, goes back to our children. And it goes back to my kids, in my perspective, have Christmas 364 days out of the year. So on Christmas Day, I want to make sure that they realize just how truly blessed they are and what a blessing it is for us to be able to go ahead and give back to the community. One of the things I want to touch on that Laurie said and David said is I am still shocked by when we pull up to these mobile home parks and these trailer parks, you see anywhere between 50 to 150 kids that will wait in line quietly and patiently behind and do not run in front of somebody, don't try to take something from somebody else. That to me is like almost I can't understand it. And it's special because like Laurie said, they remember. I got asked a question a couple years ago by a reporter, and they said, "Do you think it's become an expectation? Whereas they know you're coming, and does that bother you?" And something I think it was the Holy Spirit that said, it goes, "I'm perfectly fine with it, because if that means that the parent has a $20 bill and the difference is that they know we're coming Christmas Day, that they can put food on the table, that by all means I'm 100%, absolutely 100% behind." I love this organization when it is. I remember having a conversation with David years ago before we actually created a board.
Yeah.
When I first came on board, I'm like, "Who's funding this?" And he goes, "We just kind of collect toys and the firefighters kind of throw some money together." And I'm like, "Nope, count me in, sign me up." Here we are, and to where, and that was, I want to say 13 years ago, I think is when I got involved in the organization, and now to where it is today. It's not one of those organizations that you have to try to get money for. It's one of those organizations where you have people coming up to you going, "Hey, how can we help? What can we be a part of? How many bikes do you need? How can we do this? How can we, what, I want to help. I really want to be part of this organization." and that's special.
And I think too, the fact that they know it's staying right here in our community,
Mhm.
it's always just reassuring to know that like I'm literally individuals, I'm giving you $100. That's going back to the kids right here that you're, driving past in your car or you're seeing at at the store.
Sure. I
So
mean, there's so many great organizations. You got Toys for Tots, and you got
Yep.
the Marines and the everything, but you don't know if that's staying here. Well, guess
Yeah.
what? You buy a toy for us, you give
Yeah.
us money to go and buy a toy. It's staying here in St. Lucie County.
yeah.
Well, and to Laurie's point earlier, these are people who are employees, who are living here, who are working here, who are
Right.
impacting the community. And it's such a great kind of one step removed example of if they know you're coming and then they can keep the lights on and they can keep food on the table and what that does for someone as they grow up and allows them then to become a citizen who can come back and contribute and hopefully build beyond where they're at currently. That's an impact that you can't possibly say. It might be something that's difficult to track. You might not be able to kind of point to the toy you gave them in 2005 and say that led to their first home purchase in
Right.
2025. But it is certainly one of those things where it's all additive and it's all in conversation. So to be able to have people who are out there, they're working, they're contributing, there are employees, there are servers, there are bank tellers, all these sort of things. And to have those individuals have a little bit of the burden eased off. I think it's amazing work that you're all doing.
Well, yeah, I think one of the things, and David can attest to this more so than I can, but typically when people in those parks that we go to see a firefighter, it's not in a positive light or a positive setting. Whereas now you get to see, I don't know about anybody in this board, but you see Santa Claus in a fire truck on Christmas morning running around
That's
there,
pretty awesome.
lights and sirens. I mean, I don't know of a better Christmas day that you can
Yes.
have.
Yeah.
And it is special, and it's special for the kids, and it's special for the parents. More so, it's special for us to be able to do that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of
In a
energy.
condensed amount of
In
time.
a very
Yeah.
condensed amount of time. None of us get paid for this. We're all
Right,
doing
all
this out of the
volunteer
kindness of
for it.
our heart. I think every year we all get done and we do a wrap up meeting in January,
Yeah.
and we're like, whew, that was that was a
There's an
lot.
exhale.
There's a huge exhale because we don't have Christmas for our families until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and that's fine. That's
Yeah.
great because it really does allow you to appreciate just how blessed we truly are.
And it's nice to see the kids through, like your own kids, even through the years. Like my son, he's in college now. He's excited to come home for Christmas and help with Christmas for kids.
Yeah.
My daughter's the same way. Like, oh, okay, so when's the wrapping party's happening? It's just seeing them looking forward to being a part of it and contributing. And it really, to me, has changed the whole meaning to Christmas. When they were little, obviously, they're excited by the little toy that they have under the Christmas tree, but as they've grown, now that they understand the right thing to do, and hopefully they'll continue to push that forward.
A couple of stories I remember when you ask about memories is, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, we were in one of the mobile home parks, and we have the clothes in one area, then we have the toys over here, and usually the kids will get in line with the toys, and the parents will go through the clothes. And I seen this little boy over there. He was probably about 5 or 6, and I seen him grab a T-shirt, and he put it on. And I just watched him for a few minutes, and then so I got a little closer, and I thought, wow, he is more concerned about having clothes than he is toys. And it makes me emotional now thinking about it because I can envision him. And then he put another T-shirt on over that. I walked over there, and I think he had literally put on like 4 shirts. These were used clothes out of a box. And I just remember started talking to him, and then finally his mom came up, and we had a conversation, and and then we ended up giving them a bigger bag, and they got more clothes. But I thought, what an impact! Like this kid at 5 is thinking about clothes more important than a toy. Like that's not common. That's not normal. And there was another year we gave a girl a bike in one of the parks, and she was probably 12, and she wouldn't get on the bike. And I said, "Ma'am, what's wrong with the bike?" I said, "Is she okay? Why won't she get on it?" And she said, "Sir, she's never had a bike. Do you have any training wheels?" I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
most kids have had 3 or 4 bikes by the time they're 12 years old. So when you see those kind of stories, I mean, what else can you say about it? That's why we help and do what we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's such a great point because, and Laura, you hit on it there, but just to expand upon it is what Christmas means to us all is a very different thing depending on your background, depending how you celebrated it growing up. So for some, it is about the toys under the tree, but for kids who are already at the age of 5 or 6, having the wherewithal and the worldliness to say, it's actually more important I have clothes.
Yeah.
And it's just something that I think most people couldn't imagine a world in which a child would be able to have such ability to prioritize and know what's essential and know what's not. And to, again, something as simple as a bike where, again, you remember getting on the bike at 6 or 7 with the training wheels and your parents take them off and you feel like you're sort of free for the first time. It's like people don't have that opportunity if they've never had a bike before.
Right.
So to be able to go in and make that change and get them to where kids might have been earlier, but still to get them to that even playing field to where they can say, I understand what these things are like. Now they can go to school and they can talk about that. They can relate to their classmates better. They can make friends in a new way. Like there's so much that opens for them in that world. And it's just about the impact of one day. I want to ask you though, David, and Travis alluded to it there, the work that goes in, because this is not something that just comes together through kindness and goodwill alone. There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of effort. Take me through from kind of the start of the roll up to the event day itself. What does that look like for you guys? How in advance are you planning these things, and where does that big volunteer base start to get involved?
I would say we probably start out halfway through the year. We start planning and talking. We have quarterly meetings. We talk about different sponsorships or maybe how we want to tweak or redo things a little bit different the following year. And I myself, I think, we all have our own role, the things that we do. I start collecting boxes, big boxes, so we can put all the toys in and prepare to take them out. And then we start organizing stuff. Laurie does a lot of our social media stuff and outreach like that. And we start doing the wrapping, I guess that would be December. Right now, we just distributed like 80 boxes out to the businesses, local businesses. We did get new boxes this year with our logo on them, and so we distributed those out. We'll start collecting those in 2 or 3 weeks. I get Food Bank, Treasure Coast Food Bank donates a truck to us every year. They've been doing it for 10 or 15 years, and also St. Lucie Battery and Tire donates a big truck to us. Before we only needed 1 truck, now we need 2. And Travis, we also get a trailer here from A&G Pools that we put a lot of the socks and underwear in. I think we get another trailer from the fire department and the truck like that. So
and all the clothes going Southern Eagle.
Yeah, Southern Eagle donates a truck to us. We put all the clothes in there to kind of organize them. Then we have people that come in and build the bikes for us. Like if we get too busy, we have certain people. I think we had a guy that owned a bike business. He came in, put bikes together for us. Because sometimes we'll get 10 bikes, sometimes we get 30, 40, 50. We never know. I mean, one year we had like 80 bikes. So it's a lot of bikes to put together. We all chip in and do that, but plus we have people come in and help us. It's kind of like a team effort. You say a village, that's truly what it is, because everybody has their role. And we just all kind of communicate, and it's a very condensed period of time that all this happens, and it's pretty amazing once you see that, wow, all this got done, so.
And even like the wrapping experience, I mean, we have wonderful volunteers, Jess and Kelly, who they make the wrapping
Great
party.
committee members.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
I mean, it's between volunteers that come to wrap and then committee members that are all volunteers, as well as the volunteer board. But they set up the wrapping parties. They have Christmas music going. They have the instructions on, how you need to label the package, just different things to help the flow. Everyone just kind of knows their different role and work together to make it happen. And we even do, coming up, actually, it's top of mind. We have a shopping day that we do. So we've had great support through the years from originally the Target in Jensen Beach and now the Target in Tradition in Port St. Lucie. And so we go and we get some of the things that we know we need that we don't receive typically each and every year. So we come together as a small group and make that happen and kick off the season.
It's all the toys that go out in the community and the boxes that David alluded to, the 80 boxes we have out there. Most of the toys that we cut and we collect are the fun ones, the 3 to 10 to 12-year-olds. And those are the toys that you want to buy. Those are the exciting things. Those are the things that I think you want to buy when you were a kid. Whereas we really do focus on the infants and more of the tweens, teens. Yeah. So we're always short on those. But we've kind of figured it out over the years. I want to say Laurie keeps a spreadsheet now, and it's gotten a lot more organized than what it was in the begin with. I remember having a conversation with David when we decide to form the board. I'm like, be careful what you wish for sometimes. Like, how big do we want to make this? Because I'm not a fan of doing anything small, and I think everyone kind of knows that. And it's truly exciting. We spent $20,000 last year shopping.
Wow.
I want to say this year we're going to try and tone it down a little bit, be a little bit more specific on needs, because we know what the community needs when it comes down to that.
Yeah, because even with like our toy drive distribution boxes, we've tried to be more targeted and say, hey, we really need infants and we really need teen stuff, and here's some, ideas, because when's the last time you bought something for a teenager, right? Like, it's not top of mind. So we try to give some of that guidance, and so that's helped us with our shopping day to be more efficient.
Amazing. Now, we've talked a lot about kind of the work and the lead up and the growth of the event. I'm so curious, as you guys look to the future and kind of what maybe even beyond this year. Obviously, this year, I'm sure your goals are higher than they were last year as you continue to make it bigger and better. But 5-10 years down the line, how do you see this evolving? Do you think it goes beyond the county? Do you think there become branches? Is it always going to be just how much of the county can we serve?
Yeah, I do think about that. And the first thought that comes to mind is I'd like our neighboring fire departments maybe to get involved, like Indian River County, Martin County. I know they do their own little thing on a way smaller scale. I would like to reach out to them maybe and see if they could, if they want to start something up their way, and we can support that and help them with that. Because I'm sure there are plenty of guys that would do that. I mean, firefighters are very giving and caring. So, I don't know as far as how big we can be. I don't want to lose that sense of, and Travis have had that discussion. I don't want to lose that sense of why we started. Yes, can we get bigger? When you get bigger, yes, there's more money, but then it can become more political.
Yep.
Then you don't want to lose sight of why we started this and why we're doing it. And yes, can we grow reasonably I'm hoping we can do that, but I don't want us to lose sight of why we started Christmas for Kids. That's always been my focus, and that's always been really my main concern about it. If I had to say anything that I'm really concerned about is I don't want us to lose focus of why we started this, our children, and why we're doing it. So sometimes with growth, it has to be managed properly. So.
And I think there's an organic element to that too. Like, we can project what we would think in the future, but honestly, I think we're just here to meet the community needs, right? So we learn of a need. It might be a special needs home that has a need for their kids that are there. So then we try to support that, and that might happen for 2 years in a row. But then we'll learn of another organization or another family that has a need. So we'll try to help that. So I think we continue to be open to keeping it, relevant based on the community needs. And obviously we're in St. Lucie County where it's growing, leaps and bounds every day. So I think that there's plenty to sustain right here within the county and, partner even with other, local firefighter agencies. But I think just being open to helping where the need is.
Sure. A prime example was last year when we decided to try to focus more on South County. Like, how do we go ahead and get into that community base? And we reached out to Laurie, and we have a couple of different organizations that we went through the school board, and it was not as well as executed as I would have hoped. And I think we all kind of felt that way. But you know what? We tried, and we're gonna learn, and we learned from that, and we kind of pivoted on a couple of things. Where the organization goes from here, it's organic. I think is, like you said, a great term. The Lancey House, different things, different organizations. We're going to be taking care of people that need to be taken care of.
Yeah. One final point I want to ask, and a question I have for you, David. You had mentioned it there. It's a part of the organization's name, but the firefighter element of this, because that's where it starts. To your point about those individuals and the spirit that they have, already giving so heavily of themselves, even in the work that they're doing, but to continue on to an organization like this and to embody that. Where do you see, as a firefighter yourself, and the larger role of fire departments, districts, whether that's in this county or the next counties over, how do you see that element playing a role in all that you guys are able to do?
I think it's huge. I mean, first of all, I think with everyone, I think that the firefighters automatically have a respect factor. People look up to firefighters. They look up to police officers. There's that trust. And I think people want to get behind firefighters and police, our local first responders, and support that with what we're doing. And I think it'll grow. I think we'll definitely grow. I would like to reach out maybe to the other counties, like I had mentioned, and see if they want to start something there. And who knows where it'll go. I never expected it to be what it is today. That wasn't mine, like I said, when I started. But the satisfaction I get is like what Travis and Laurie said when we got on Christmas Day, and we see those families that are grateful and they come up and thank us. And, we're glad you guys came. Thank you for thinking about us. And nobody complains. Nobody's ever been upset. They're always happy with everything they get. They're very, throughout my life, I've always realized that the people that sometimes that are the most giving, they're the people that don't have anything. And that's always touched me too. So you want to do more for them. And so I think we'll just continue to evolve, and it'll be organic, and we'll meet the needs of, there's always people, maybe we have to do it 2 different days. Christmas Day is hard to reach as many people as we do. It may end up being a couple of days. There may be 2 Christmas days per se that we go out and to reach more kids. So.
And I think an important part too, like something that just, I'm looking at David as he's talking and seeing his shirt, but the 4 in Christmas, 4 kids, is because it started at his station, which was Station 4. And to me, I just feel like every time that I ever see the name, it reminds me that it's 4 families in our community. It's from the fire families.
And to add to that, Luke, the fire district as a whole has been a huge support of Christmas for Kids, and it's from cooking to hosting to, hey Chief, I need to have the truck, or hey Chief, I need to get Rob Newman, who's our Santa Claus on Christmas Day, and we need to have him to get the day off. Whatever you need, Travis. Whatever you need, Travis. And it's not just because I'm a fire board commissioner. It's because they truly believe in what David had started almost 18 years ago, and it's our family serving yours, the St. Lucie County Fire District's motto, and that's really prevalent and relevant on Christmas Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of Beneath the Surface and for my conversation with David, Laurie, and Travis. It's amazing to have them here, and the work that they're doing and the entire Christmas for Kids organization is doing is truly, truly amazing. If you want to volunteer or donate, whether that be your money, your time, gifts, anything of that nature, go to slcfdchristmasforkids.com or give them a search up on your preferred search engine. It is truly amazing work, and I know there's still a variety of ways you can get involved. If you want to watch any of our backlog, any previous episodes, please feel free to check those out wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time.